The advantage about the one-handed swing is that it teaches you transfer into the next step, which would be the high pull. The high pull is a little bit different than a barbell high pull, and you notice I'm kind of going a little bit up and out to the side as opposed to straight up vertically. The high pull, the next step with the kettlebell is to go into the snatch. The snatch pretty much is considered the #1 kettlebell exercise once we get past the swing. Most people never need to go beyond the kettlebell snatch to get athletic benefits, to get metabolic benefits out of it, as well as shoulder stability. I'm probably guessing that most of you guys are familiar with Olympic lifts with a barbell. It's very similar in the mechanics to a barbell Olympic lift, but it's got its own little nuances, as you can tell, in terms of being able to get your hand up and through the kettlebell so that it doesn't come back and give you a nice little welt on your forearm. Now, that being said, everybody's going to have a little period of that at first. When you go into the snatch, you're going to, when the weight travels back around, it's going to take a little practice. But the way that we want to think about the snatch is to out-race the kettlebell up, as opposed to going and then letting it come back and pop you on the forearm. So think in terms of the best way to practice it is with the lighter bell. And if you were to hold the bell up like this, you want to shoot your hand through the handle as opposed to letting it just come back and hit your wrist like that. Also, keep your wrist straight. So if we're here, you want to keep your wrist in that position as opposed to letting the wrist go here. We always want to keep a straight position with any of the kettlebell exercises. Everybody talks about, I want to, got to develop my core, got to, core training, and there's, even, hour classes on training your core. Well, your glutes are part of your core. It's not just your frontal midsection, like most people, and then even, a little bit of my lower back and the obliques and the intercostals and all that involves my core. Well, your glutes are part of your core. So when you're thinking about training, like from a rotational standpoint, you take somebody like a tennis player and they get here and they're going across in a rotational way, or a baseball player, your hips and your abdominals work together. They're not an island unto themselves. You can't just say, well, train your midsection but forget about your glutes, or vice versa, train your glutes and forget about your midsection. You've got to think about the relationship between the two. The swing is beautiful at teaching you how to get those muscles working together in their kinetic chain as opposed to trying to break that chain and isolate them.